Hello friends and welcome to Hitbullseye. My name is Manish and welcome to the weekly dose of current affairs that we cover every week. So in this week's current affairs, we are going to cover the third week of October. And also this is the week of Diwali. So a very happy Diwali to all of you. May all your wishes come true and may your life be filled with happiness. So in this particular video, we'll be covering the current affairs from roughly 15th of October till about 22nd of October, that is the day. And there are a lot many things happening, some good, some bad, mostly at the international front, some on the national front as well. So let's take a look. First is Mr. Prakash Padukone is in news. Why is Mr. Prakash Padukone in news? And who is Mr. Prakash Padukone? Well, everybody knows Deepika Padukone, I'm sure. The younger generation relates more to that. So he is the father of Deepika Padukone. Well, of course, that much is not enough. So he is one of the most accomplished badminton players of Inea, right? So we'll see why Mr. Padukone is in news for good reasons. Don't worry. So he is in news for good reasons. So we'll see about that. Second, NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the organization that has been in news for quite some time now due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, has undertaken its nuclear exercise Steadfast Noon. We will see what are the implications of this nuclear exercise and what is a nuclear exercise, that also we'll see. Britain's Booker Prize 2022 has been announced. This is not the Booker Prize. The Booker Prize is different. This is Britain's Booker Prize. We will see who is the winner and why. The Kuchipudi dance festival is being held. We will see where it is being held and what is the importance of it and what is Kuchipudi, some facts about it. Then the Jal Jeevan Mission for giving potable water to all the rural households in India by 2024. It has yearly targets and there is one state that has been able to meet its targets for the current year. We will see which that state is. Next, India has got its 50th Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Mr. DY Chandrachud, Justice DY Chandrachud, who is the second senior most judge right now, after, of course, Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, is going to be the next Chief Justice of India as recommended by the current CJI. So we will see some facts about Justice Chandrachud and quite interesting facts, in fact. Next, Mallikarjun Kharge. So India's grand old party, the Indian National Congress, has elected its non-Gandhi president in the last 3 decades. The first non-Gandhi president in the last 3 decades. We will see some facts about Mr. Kharge. Then Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Urvarak Pariyojana, that is a fertilizer scheme. We will see what this scheme is, what is the intent of this scheme, and how do we know this scheme by another name. Okay, so this news is somewhat of a tragic news, you can say. We had covered barely last month Ms. Liz Truss being appointed as the new Prime Minister of Britain, and now she has quitted, perhaps becoming the shortest serving Prime Minister in the history of Britain. So we will see why she had to quit, what were the circumstances that led to that, and how has it impacted Indian and the global economy. Pakistan has been removed from FATF grey list. FATF is Financial Action Task Force. We will see a few facts about FATF and why has Pakistan been removed from the grey list, what is grey list, and why was Pakistan on the grey list in the first place. And finally, Mr. Shiv Nadar is India's most generous person for 2022. As has been revealed in a report that tracks the philanthropic activities of these individuals, closely followed by Azim Premji. So we will take a look at all these news one by one. First is Mr. Prakash Padukone. So Mr. Prakash Padukone is one of the most well-known names in Indian badminton, and he has been awarded the SPFI Medal, that is the Sports Journalists Federation of India Medal 2019. Now this is 2022. Why are we talking about a medal of 2019? Because due to COVID-19 outbreak, the award ceremony could not be held for the last 2.5 years. It seems like an entire period of history has gone into oblivion, or it has been wiped away. But there have been certain things which got delayed due to, of course, the COVID-19. Life got disrupted due to that, and this function was one of those things. And this SJFI medal, that they say Sports Journalists Federation of India medal, it was inaugurated or given for the first time in 2018 itself. So just once it was given, and the next year the COVID struck us, and the first winner was Vijay Amritraj. Right, so it's a very prestigious medal, newly instituted. First winner was Vijay Amritraj, and second is Mr. Prakash Padukone. Right, so that is all that this news has. NATO nuclear exercise. All right, so this is a news that has some implication. This exercise takes place every year. It's an annual exercise. Exercise mean to say there is a, the armies of these countries come together. They hold joint logistical operations for better coordination, for better security in the region. But this year the implication of NATO annual exercise is totally different because of the war on that front. So North Atlantic Treaty Organization holds an annual nuclear exercise codenamed Steadfast Noon. Steadfast Noon. It's a week-long exercise that is taking place over southern Europe and involves aircraft and personnel from 14 NATO countries. NATO has 30 members. Right? Sweden and Finland has recently applied and have become members. Total 30 members NATO has. It was an organization that started operations in 1949 from Washington DC, the capital of USA. And this was basically a military alliance, and it is a military alliance which was supposed to serve the interests of the Western Bloc during the Cold War era. And as an answer to the NATO, the Eastern Bloc, led by the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, had the Warsaw Pact, Warsaw being the capital of Poland. But when in 1991 the Soviet Union collapsed, the Warsaw Pact also came to an inadvertent end. But it did not end the NATO run, which kept on expanding and started making various countries which were earlier part of the Eastern Bloc as its members. And this particular timeline shows that. So 1999, dark blue are those countries which became members of NATO. So basically eastward expansion of NATO we can see. So if you look at this map clearly, so this is Europe and this is Russia here. So these colors, as they go from darker to lighter shades, it's like these are the countries that became members of NATO. So if you go from west to east, you will find that from darker to lighter colors, which simply shows that all these eastern countries which were earlier the members of the Soviet bloc slowly started becoming NATO members. And when they reached the Russian border, that is Ukraine, that is when Russia attacked Ukraine, because Russia did not want the NATO forces on its own borders, and that has been the major reason why Russia attacked Ukraine. Right, so amidst all this, hullabaloo that the war is causing, this kind of an exercise can increase tensions, and it's a nuclear exercise. So this time, this exercise holds a specific importance. It is meant to show its power, or to showcase its power to Russia. Not that Russia is afraid. Russia has also shown its own nuclear weapons like the Sarmat and other weapons. But it's just that it's a dangerous precedent, it's a tipping point, and anytime the situation can spiral into a nuclear war. But of course all the stakeholders know the perils of a nuclear war. It's like the mutually assured destruction principle, the MAD principle, everybody's aware about. So it's unlikely to happen. It hasn't happened in the last 75 years. It's unlikely to happen even now. Britain's Booker Prize 2022. This gentleman over here is the winner of Britain's Booker Prize 2022. He's holding a book that reads The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida. Right, so his name is Shehan Karunatilak. He's a Sri Lankan author. Right, so he's a Sri Lankan author, Shehan Karunatilak. He has won Britain's Booker Prize for fiction for his work, The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida. The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida, about a journalist murdered amid the country's sectarian strife. So it's a very courageous writing for which he has been awarded. So the chair of the judges said, basically this is the observation about the book, this is the reason why this book has been awarded. They say, and I quote, "It is a book that takes the reader on a roller coaster journey through life and death." Roller coaster journey through life and death, right to what the author describes as the dark heart of the world. So it's like, the writing has been so powerful, it has shown this particular journey of life and death, the dark heart of the world. So for this fine portrayal, he has been awarded with this particular prize. Kuchipudi Dance Festival. There are 8 classical dances in India, including Kuchipudi, Satriya, Mohiniyattam, Bharatnatyam, Kathak, Kathakali. So Kuchipudi is one of those, and recently the 3rd World Kuchipudi Natyotsavam. Natya means dance, Utsav or Utsavam. Utsav means festival. So Natyotsavam means dance festival, Natya Utsav. So the 3rd World Kuchipudi Natyotsavam was organized in Vijayawada. The World Kuchipudi Natyotsavam starts on 14th October and ended on basically 16th October, and it is practiced in Andhra Pradesh, of course, Vijayawada. So it is being organized in commemoration of, why we celebrate it on these days? In commemoration of the 93rd birth anniversary of world-renowned Kuchipudi dance artist Vempati China Satyam. This is a very important name. So this is a name associated with Kuchipudi. Basically, one of the most important names in the world associated with Kuchipudi. Just like we associate Pandit Birju Maharaj with Kathak. He also died a few months back. Just like we associate his name with Kathak. Just like we associate, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar with cricket. There is a name that is synonymous with one particular field of art or science or sports or something, which is like inseparable. And that person has added to the stature of that art or that art form. And that is what Vempati China Satyam was. He added to the stature of Kuchipudi. And hence we celebrate World Kuchipudi Festival on his birth anniversary. Right? It is by collaboration of Department of Culture, Government of Andhra Pradesh, the Kuchipudi Art Academy, and that's not very important. Jal Jeevan Mission target for 2022. So Jal Jeevan Mission is one of the most flagship schemes of the government of India in the second tenure, like NDA or the BJP government second tenure is going on from 2019 till 2024. And just like in the previous term, one of the flagship schemes was Swachh Bharat Mission, which turned out to be a huge success. This time, the logical succession to that is the availability of water, or say potable water or tapped water connection to every rural household in India. And the target for that has been set at 2024. It's about 10 crore households that require metered water connections, tapped water connections. And Tamil Nadu has emerged as the only state in India which has achieved the target for 2022 quarter 1 and 2. Right, so Tamil Nadu is the only state in India which has achieved this target, with 69.57 lakh households provided with tap water connections. And for this purpose, let me be very clear, and do not make mistake here, the urban households are not counted. It is only the rural households where tapped water connections are covered under this particular mission. And the full name of this mission is Har Ghar Nal Se Jal. Har Ghar Nal Se Jal means every household water through tap. That is the exact meaning, and that is what exactly is supposed to be achieved. And the Union Jal Shakti Minister right now is Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Right? So Tamil Nadu is the state that has achieved its target this year. Other states are also doing well, but not that well that Tamil Nadu is. That is basically the idea. Justice DY Chandrachud. For the first time, it's going to happen in India that a person is going to be appointed CJI whose father was also the CJI. You know, this is the first time. It's like the rarest of the rare incidents. It's like 1 in a billion instances, practically. For the first time in the history of India, a person whose father was also the Chief Justice of India. We have seen various father-son duos or, you know, parent-child duos have, you know, being High Court judges or Supreme Court judges or High Court and Supreme Court judges and vice versa. But the Chief Justice of India, which is only one position in the entire country, being occupied by a father-son duo, is the first of its kind case. So Justice Y.V. Chandrachud, Justice Y.V. Chandrachud, Yashwant Vishnu Chandrachud, was the 16th Chief Justice of India in the 1970s, right? And now his son, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, is going to be the 50th Chief Justice of India. So the 16th and the 50th Chief Justice of India, father and son. So he has been formally anointed as the CJI by President Draupadi Murmu, and he's going to be basically taking his seat next month in November, when the current CJI Justice Uday Umesh Lalit's tenure comes to an end. And his tenure will be approximately for 2 years. This has been a cause of criticism in various quarters, that some CJIs serve a very small term, as has been with Justice UU Lalit as well, just 74 days of tenure. But unlike that, Justice Chandrachud is going to have a 2-year tenure in which meaningful change can be made to the office, and a lot is expected of him, because he has been a part of various path-breaking judgments, various important judgments, and it remains to be seen how he handles this highest office of judiciary once he gets on that. High hopes and even higher optimism. Let's move forward. Mallikarjun Kharge. So Mr. Kharge is the new president of Indian National Congress. So this party was accused of, panning to a single family, but to redeem itself, it has got elections conducted for internal democracy, and there were 2 contestants only, Mr. Kharge and Mr. Shashi Tharoor, the quintessential English teacher of India. So basically these 2 senior leaders contested, and Mr. Kharge ended up getting over 85% of the total votes, and he has been elected. Basically the voting is done by the Congress party's members in states as well as in the center. So he is now the new president, and he's the first non-Gandhi Congress president in 24 years. Now it remains to be seen how he revives the fledgling party, and he's the only Congress chief who has been leader of opposition in Karnataka, leader of the party in Lok Sabha, and leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha. 3 important positions. To occupy these 3 important positions, he is the first person to be appointed. Next, Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Urvarak Pariyojana. This is basically the full name of One Nation One Fertilizer scheme. We have discussed about this scheme in this space in a previous video. Basically, under this One Nation One Fertilizer scheme, companies must market all subsidized fertilizers under a single brand called Bharat. The purpose is to unify, and the purpose is to bring uniformity into the fertilizer market of the entire country. But some fertilizer manufacturers basically opposed it on the ground that it will kill their brands. But it has been launched, and Union Agriculture Minister is Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar, and Chemical and Fertilizers Minister is Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. Ms. Liz Truss, she was the Prime Minister of Britain for a very short period of time, over 40 days I think, and I'll tell you in brief why she had to quit. She has 2 distinctions. One is a good distinction, one is a dubious one. The good distinction is that she was the last Prime Minister to be appointed by the late Queen Elizabeth II, because after appointing her, just 2 days after appointing her, Queen Elizabeth II died in the month of September. And the dubious distinction that she has is that she has become now one of the shortest serving Prime Ministers in British history. Now, why she had to quit? Some people say that this is because of her economic policies. She, cut taxes on the super rich, but she did not provide a way out on how to finance those taxes. So many investors thought that she would be, borrowing, she would be doing deficit financing, due to which the bond yield fell. Bond yield increased basically a lot, and people started selling gilt-edged securities, which are government securities. So people, started losing faith in the government, whether the government will be able to pay back its money or not, and that led to a spiral effect on the entire UK economy, inflation going even higher. So that was some sort of a miscalculation that many people say, and it is because of that economic mess that she had to quit. She, in her own words, she wanted to do a lot, or let's say wanted to do too much in too few days basically. So that is why this has happened. Not much has emerged now. Okay, next is Pakistan is out of FATF grey list. So Financial Action Task Force is basically an intergovernmental body, which is the purpose of which is to keep a track on terrorist financing and money laundering, and it has various set of criteria that every country has to fulfill. But apparently Pakistan was not fulfilling various criteria on terror financing and money laundering, because Pakistan is home to various terror organizations. So they are freely funded there. There is a lot of money laundering going on, and because of that Pakistan was put on the grey list. There are two lists that FATF maintains. One is the grey list and one is the black list. A country that does not fulfill some of the criteria for some time is put on the grey list. But if a country is not fulfilling so many criteria or for a long period of time, it is put on the blacklist. And the implication of grey listing and blacklisting is that the country stops getting import-export assistance. The country stops getting foreign loans, foreign assistance, visa bans, are extended quite frequently, and the international trade of the country gets impacted. It's a sort of sanctions era, what you can say. So now apparently, according to FATF, Pakistan has taken action against the terrorists, and that's why it has been taken off the list. For the last 4 years, it has been on the grey list of the FATF. And along with Pakistan, Nicaragua was also removed from the grey list. And these two countries have been removed, and 3 countries have been added to the list. That is the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, Tanzania, and Mozambique. These 3 countries have been added to the grey list, and 1 country has been added to the black list, and that is Myanmar. Myanmar has been added to the black list. Then Mr. Shiv Nadar. So Mr. Shiv Nadar is an industrialist. He's the founder of HCL Technologies, and there are various institutions like Shiv Nadar University also is there, and he has topped the Edelgive Hurun India Philanthropy List 2022. So basically those people who have donated a lot of money, those are the people in the list, and he is on number 1 position. He has donated 1,161 crore rupees, which calculates to approximately 3 crore rupees per day. In the last 1 year, he has donated 1,161 crore rupees in total, making him top the list. At number 2 is Wipro's Azim Premji, and he has donated 484 crores. At number 3 is Mr. Mukesh Ambani. And at number 7 is Mr. Gautam Adani, who is right now India's richest person and is the 2nd richest person in the world. So this is the list, Edelgive Hurun India Philanthropy List 2022. Right, so that's all for this week. Quite important news you must have noticed. So that is all. If you like the channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, so that whenever when we post a video, you get a notification of it. Thank you so much. This is me, Manish Mittal, signing off. Take care.